What's good, my people? Flash Speaks back, man, for another video. Whole lot of things, man, to talk about that I haven't really addressed, that I think, I'll give some quick thoughts on. The first one being, man, Caitlin Clark wins an ESPY for the best women's basketball player in the WNBA. And if you any Clarkies is watching this, like, how do you justify that? Why would she win that? Did she win a title last year? Did she win MVP last year? Are they going to try to win a title this year? What would be the justification for her winning that? It's another situation where there's an award based on just purely fan voting. And obviously casuals weighing in. Another example of them just mucking up a sport, messing up a situation that could be valid. You taking away an award from someone who really earned something, man. And y'all supposed to be people who about earning things and, building and really, that's what y'all really about, man. Right? Supposedly, even though there is confusion as to what Caitlin Clark is actually on, right? 1 minute you assuming she's like, she got a bunch of MAGA followers, but really she was supporting Kamala Harris, on the side of what you would call it, was that Taylor Swift and all of that. Like, so there's a lot of confusion and all that. I'll let y'all work all that out because that stuff just confuses me. The whole political scene ain't really my thing, So in the area of women's basketball, man, I suppose overall it's a good thing. But my man RG3, man, Robert Griffin III just can't seem to get right. Man. I could just imagine it must really be tough for him right now. You're talking about, a guy who lost his job with ESPN. I think that's a shame. I thought he was kind of pretty good at what he did. I didn't have a problem with much of his opinions. He, for the most part, was very positive on the Eagles, and that's all I really need from a guy, to be honest, about the best team in the league. So I have a problem with him from that standpoint. But he seems to really have dug himself in a serious hole, man, here, especially with his own community, the black community. Which I do try to tell you is a complicated thing, because not every black man and woman feels as though there is a community. Some people are assimilationists, and some people are more so about community, right? I kind of get the feeling that Robert Griffin Jr. is just into the we're all Americans type of thing, and, his blackness is secondary, and, just assimilate into the culture, the greater American culture, that idea, which... I think as an idealist, it sounds good. And like, at one level, I wish, you could just do that and it would be that simple, right? But I think you also have to check that with the reality that most people in this country don't agree with that type of thinking, right? You will have to like really join a small group or just a group of people, maybe hippies or something, who think like that, you know what I mean? Who listen to Fleetwood Mac and stuff like that, and Carole King, those types of people. You know what I mean? Because if you real about the way the country is kind of like been set up systematically, especially by those who run things, the 1% who kind of own most of the businesses and, the roads and all of that kind of stuff. They like to use race as a means to, protect their wealth, because as long as us down here are kind of like seeing differences with each other, because what they do is they use the white people, because oftentimes those in the 1%, they share the same skin color as white people. So if they have the white people that are down here on our level believing that they're special, that keeps us divided, and they also have them walking around with this fear that they'll go extinct, if we intermingle. So they'll have them just kind of separated. If you look into these things, these are kind of the different sentiments going on. But Robert Griffin III appears to kind of be an assimilationist, right? And assimilationists, to me, I say, are in this world they are akin to if you were to see different races as, like, say, sheep, sheep that are in a pack or whatever, if you will, the lone sheep that kind of strays away, these are like, that's how kind of like how their assimilationists are. They kind of stray away on their own because they're only concerned about themselves and not the strength of the whole. And these are the ones that get eaten by the wolf because they're without protection. And that's kind of what's happening to Robert Griffin III right now. And what I'm kind of hoping is that he learns something from this, right? I'm not going to use my platform necessarily right now to like pile on to him. Right now he's being told by big 7'2" dudes that he's going to get punched in the face. And, Angel Reese handling her business, her mom handling their business, good for them, against him, and all of that kind of stuff. So there's no need. I don't have to really pour on. I think it's clear my thoughts on his types. I've given a lot of videos on that, so I don't have to keep reiterating those things. But I try to use these things as teaching moments to try to point out certain things that I think are very important. And that's one of the things here. He finds himself in a situation because what's happening here is, he's in a relationship with a Caucasian woman in marriage. I don't have a problem with people making those decisions from either side, whether it's a black person who decides to go in a relationship with a white person, or from the other side of a white person decides to go in a relationship with a black person. Just in general, I don't have problems with those types of things. And the main reason is those things are not sinful things. There's no holy book you can go to that any of us claim to follow that speaks against it, okay? The only people who kind of speak against it are either just nationalist people, whether it's a white nationalist or black nationalist, Pan-Africanist mindset type of person who believes that there's like a need for, us to just intermarry with each other, and not in the American context and in the context of a world where you view white supremacy as being the enemy. I understand that. So I get the Dr. Umars and so on who think like that. It's important that you just marry black and spend black and all of that. Now, I agree with the spending black. I agree with that, right? But the marriage thing, I just don't think you can dictate that to people. I just don't see that as realistic, that I can dictate that to the next man. I got my views on it, but to present it as if a person is committing some major sin or something like that, I'm just, I'm not going to do that. That's, people marry who they connect with, who they match temperaments with, whatever. That's their choice. I don't get all into that stuff, right? But the problem with Robert Griffin III is he gives off the type of energy that he believes maybe being with a white woman is superior to being with a black woman, right? That's where I have a problem with people who either believe that or give off that type of energy, or that white women are better than black women or something like that. Those types of things are just wrong, right? Each individual should be judged as an individual. Every black woman should be judged for who they are, what they've done, and so should every white woman, right? And I think that's the right way to go about it. So him and his constant going at Angel Reese is what put him in this situation. And it was a real dumb move for him to make, to go that route. And this should be a sign, in my opinion, for every black man, that when you do go at Angel Reese, that you keep it just purely about basketball and nothing more. Don't add nothing more onto it. Because this is what it leads to. You kind of won't really find support anywhere, right? Because ultimately people don't respect that kind of stuff that he's doing. Number one, it's a woman and you're a man. So from that standpoint, people are always going to look at it as you're just being, mean anyway, towards someone that, towards a demographic that you really shouldn't be going at anyway. Like, just as a man, that's number one. And then number two, the perception of you sitting there married to a white woman going at a black woman, just optically, it just looks really bad. It looks really bad. Even if it was like the reverse, where it was a white man who's with a black woman who's going just totally at white women. White people would have a problem with that. Many of them would. So, you got to learn from those types of things, man. You put yourself in a real tough situation. And hopefully you learn from it, man. And that's just the thing I'll say, because I don't see pretty much any good coming from it. Now, the other problem that it's creating is in the black community is a number of people who got things to say about it. Like a number of our scholars, like Dr. Boyce Watkins, weighed in on it. I saw on his, and Dr. Boyce Watkins is an interesting guy, man, because on one hand, he does have a lot of good things to offer from the standpoint of like monetary advice and economics, and that seems to be kind of like his major focus. But on the other hand, he'll speak very critical of a lot of other aspects of our culture, like music, rap music, and stuff like that. But what I found strange for him was he steps in here and he has advice for Shaquille O'Neal. And he's kind of criticized Shaquille O'Neal for his approach towards RG3, punched him in the face. He called it, childish, and you were going to jail about it, and that sort of thing. But what I found weird about Dr. Boyce is that I didn't find any evidence of him stepping in to defend Angel Reese when it was like RG3 and Angel Reese. It's just when Shaq goes at RG3, now he has something to say. And like, I just, and then even when some people came on his live and, challenged him, his answers were more like, Angel Reese can defend herself. Well, why can't RG3 defend himself then? Like, we got a lot of these things where, I don't know, we just only are pro-black when it comes to the men, but when it comes to the women, we're not protecting them. That's not a healthy way to build a community right there, man. You got to see the brothers and the sisters as being both equally important when you're doing that, And that was kind of disappointing, to see that from Boyce Watkins. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. So overall, I think this attention, though can be a little rough, I think it's good, man. I think it's good for conversation. It's good for us to come together to talk about some of these things and hopefully resolve some of these issues, because, man, we got a lot going on, bro. We got a lot going on. And we got a long ways to go. Long ways to go. So what happened with the Aces last night is they look good. They look pretty good. Well, it's against Dallas. I mean, everybody kind of looks good against Dallas. Agent Wilson, true to form, 37-10. Did her thing. Enrique looked a lot better. That's good. I don't know how many of them actually watch our videos and stuff like that, but Enrique might have saw my video where I caught her buns and so on. I was really disappointed in her, and it's only because I think really highly of her game. But she played a lot better. I do wonder when DJ Carrington is coming back, if at all. I mean, it's like very mysterious what's going on with that. To see if Dallas can turn that around. I don't know. Shoot, man, what else we got going on? The Valkyries played yesterday as well. The Seattle Storm. Seattle Storm, one of my teams that I think is going to be there. One of the last teams standing. Skyler and NECA, they doing their thing. Doing their thing for real. Valkyries play valiantly, but Seattle, they're superior. They're a superior team. Chicago Sky, I don't even feel like talking about, man. I don't even feel like talking about. We just see what happens. And as for you Clarkies, it'll be alright, man. Keep y'all head up. Alright, I'm out, man. I gotta get to work. Peace and hair grease.